Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Mike K-Pox back with another hardpoint video. In this video, I'm going to be explaining how to rotate. I'm going to be reviewing a couple of the hills that we talked about yesterday, so you got some good info on those already. I'm going to be doing P2 to P3 on Tuscan and P4 to P5 on Gavutu. So let's hop right into it. So yesterday I mentioned it briefly, but it's actually a huge thing, in my opinion, for rotating, is that you should never try to force one scenario way too hard. So for example, yesterday we talked about the play where I was emphasizing the guy in the back. Instead of just sitting here holding the back being useless, you could be aggressive and pushing out and whatnot, right? So let's say, for instance, you do that play in this scenario, all your teammates on hills, they get their kills, you get out of church in time. You could start the rotation through the left side here and force them to a side. So like in reality, you always want to be working towards one angle together, like middle and a side. That's my basic rule, is mid and a side. So technically this guy here is working mid, teammates working left. So the reason why I have the red, like you could spawn them front church or in the back, it all depends on the timing of the kill. So if this guy top church doesn't have the time to get out in time, he's blocking front church and his boys are still blocking front blue, well, the only available spawn at that point would be in the back. So if nobody's for your team is close to the back or coming off spawn, you're either going to spawn them front church or in the back. So either way, it gives you that opening towards rooftop to get that good setup for the back spawn to P3. Also, if you do spawn rooftop, you still have like a good spawn where you could like reinforce scrap if you need to and whatnot. So let's say same scenario, the guy in the back, you make the play, go top church, you get your kill, but your teammates die. So at 30 seconds here, this is also another like variable. So if your teammates die all at the same time, there's like two options. So they could either spawn front blue because technically you came from the back, so you guys are blocking the back, you're blocking front church, and you force them to spawn blue. Or like I said, depending on the positioning of them, the other team, and where you're at on the map, your team could spawn front church on you, so you guys could like turn around, rotate, or turn around and put pressure on time. So based off of where your teammates spawn, which is a very big part of information, based off of where your teammates spawn is going to give you the perfect information. So if your teammates spawn behind you, that should tell you, okay, I need to rotate and go to new. If your teammates spawn front church on you, then instead of you dropping down and trying to rotate at 30, you want to cut back to the front and cut them off from rotating through rooftops, like how we just said in the previous scenario. So I'm going to show you the screenshots for the spawns on P3, which is why it's important, like I said, to go through mid and a side together. So if you guys rotate initially through, like from P2 to rooftops, you play through mid and left, you're going to be spawning them field. Vice versa, let's say you don't have the timing, like I said, you don't have the timing to push out blue, you guys could push out middle and right, block these two spawns, and force them into the back, play a setup from the front. So it's like what I was saying, squad spawns, there is no one set scenario you should be doing every time. It's kind of always going to be a reaction and a prediction. I mean, that's kind of basic to say, but you should never be trying to always rotate to the left or always rotate to the right. Whichever one is easier, that's what you should work with, and then make the next setup as manageable as possible. Okay, so this one, P4 to P5 on Gavutu, this is one that I've seen teams mess up all year long, and it literally triggers my soul. I had to put the biggest red X on it because it just triggers me to see it happen. So we were talking about yesterday, the phase setup. I mean, I'm going to give them the credit on this, you know what I'm saying? I saw them do it first, but the phase setup. So they want to try to flip you into the back of P4, hold you in the spawn trap while they spawn cliff. So the big part about this, so let's say it's around 30 seconds and you know all four players are in the back. So it's really important that you have your ARs playing to the front side of the time, so you can get this line of sight, preventing them from going beat. So like this line is pretty much, you don't want them to get past this area, because when they get past this area, it makes the rotation pretty hard. So instead of doing this, so let's say you come off spawn, 30 seconds left, I see a lot of people take this long route around the back, or even if they go all the way around here and they cut through the back, it's still not the best play in my opinion, because you have options. You could either bump this guy up, or let's say he dies, you could just run across middle to cut across, so long as you know they're not through. You don't have to get Marathon Pro and go all around the back, just waste all this time. It's just super useless. Especially, I'll show you the spawns for P5 afterwards, so it'll make a lot more sense. So, all right, let's say, for instance, they do get out though. So a big thing that I've seen a lot of teams also mess up on this as well, like at 30 seconds, in reality, you should be trying to lock down the 60 seconds in front of you and then make best of what you can do for the next scenario. So you shouldn't just forfeit this 30 because, oh, I need to panic, they got out, and give up full map control to go wrap back and stop them getting out. Like, if they get out in this scenario, it's not bad, because how I think about it is this cliff spawn is a spawn for P4 and P5. So if you maintain this spawn and maintain like some sort of a setup during this rotation, you don't need to overexhaust your numbers, trying to spread thin, challenge people while they're in groups, hiding in these bushes, tanks, rocks, you know, like, it's just a lot harder to do. So in reality, you should get somebody top 3 on the boat watching the cross. Somebody could play scrap, whatnot, whatever. There's going to be probably one person that hits scrap from the other team. But in reality, you should be just playing a setup from the front, trying to play tight together. You shouldn't try to spread too far. You should be trying to get this 30 seconds and prevent them from just swimming all in your cheeks in the back, kind of thing. And then, so this is the spawn for P5, and this is why I was saying it. So, let's say, for example, you do get this perfect setup on the rotation. So let's say, all right, so first off, let's say the guy cliff dies. And this is why it's very good to not, like, try to spread too thin and try to dominate the map completely, like, stack your numbers too hard. Because let's say the guy cliff dies. Well, now the guy cliff dies, this guy over here on beach side, let's say he gets all his kills and whatnot, he gets activated. So now he can move, he can control the ring side, he could prevent them from pinching ring, he could pinch them down either stairs, pretty much just provide support to his team, because he knows his team's going to spawn like back red tower for free pretty much. But the key part about this is that when the guy cliff dies, right, if there's somebody in hill, there's actually a couple options. I should have drawn it, but you could either bump the guy from the hill to front boat to put pressure up, or if you have like the spacing, like you have these people ring and top boat still stalling them out, especially if you have an AR, because there's a 3 AR meta on this map. Instead of running to the hill and stacking the hill or trying to bump him forward, you could just run to middle, get on this tank, and then just get on a supporting cut. So you're supporting the guy ring. If they get the ring, you could back up and pick that up. If they're floating through boat, you could challenge the middle, cut across the boat, stalling out time for your team. You're just not like stacking too hard, and you're not doing one set play like over and over. So let's say vice versa. This is what I was mentioning a little bit before. Let's say your teammate on the right side dies. So he dies P3 side. Well, P3 is a spawn for P5. So whenever this guy dies over here, he's going to have, I circled him. It's a variable depending on where the other team is. It's too in-depth for me to give you a breakdown on both. So just depending on wherever you spawn on both of these, right? If you have info that majority of them are going to rotate through here, you should assume that they're probably going to spawn there. And again, your teammate's spawn gives you a lot of info. So let's say one of your teammates spawn cliff, and then your next live, you spawn here in the back. That should automatically tell you the other team is coming from P3. And you should be, especially if you have a guy safe in hill, you should be taking supporting routes. Not trying to flood to the hill, not trying to take a long route, but either if the guy top 3 dies, you fill top 3. Or if the guy hill needs help, you fill over hill. If you spawn here in the back, you should realistically never go to the hill here. Like, if you know for a fact they're P3, you should just stay here, and you're just a line of defense. Like, there's like a little hill right here you could head glitch, or you can come to the back, send one of the 50 million bushes, hold them off, just play for a kill. But in reality, this is a blessed spawn. You should be thankful you got this, but I see a lot of people like mess this up, and they try to do too much and just end up dying here. Okay, so that was another quick video explaining how to flow, rotate, all that good shit. I'm gonna be dropping more videos. Like, I can't promise daily, but I'm definitely gonna be dropping more videos. So like I said, if you have any ideas you want me to cover in the next video, just drop it in the comments. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me, bros. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Until next time. Yeah.